So we just watched Annihilation. I did warn you guys, there are some definite jump scares in the movie. Nancy, a clap of thunder just scared the shit out of me. Oh, come on. It wasn't that scary. It wasn't that scary. It wasn't that scary to me, and that I don't do horror and that kind of stuff. There's a lot of pieces in this movie. And one of the big ones, hold on, I'm trying to figure out, my screen is doing something really, really weird. Okay, there we go. There we go. Maybe that's better? I don't know. Hold on. Let me go full screen. That better? No, it's all fucked up. My screen is all weird. I don't know what the hell's going on with it at the moment. Oh well, whatever, we'll deal with it.
You're shimmering.
Sorry?
You're just shimmering.
I'm shimmering, yeah. So, Moksha made this statement in the chat here during the movie. She said, after the big attack, the big gruesomeness and all the rest of it, what was the reason? Like why did they have to add that in? Like it didn't really play any part in the story, so to speak. And that was my big thing when I watched this movie the first time, was if you take all of the scary horror shit out. So, you know, your mutated bear, your oversized shark tooth alligator. If you took that out, what was actually in the movie? And it was interesting because I sat there and went, you have, okay, the fact of once they enter the shimmer, they have no idea how they got there, where they went, how long the time became irrelevant. They had no concept of how long they'd been in there, as they say at the beginning of the movie. Oh, hold on, guys. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, no sneezing. Oh, or yawning, apparently. So, at the beginning of the movie, they say they're first interviewing her. They'd been in there for 4 months. 4 months. They only had food for 2 weeks. So there's several aspects to it. So the fact of, like I said, they have no memory once they walked in of where they were, how they got there, how long they'd been there. There was no sense of time whatsoever, other than like a day, night, day, night, day, night. And we've talked about this over and over again for months. And the fact of there's no sense of time for us anymore. That it's like there's a daytime, there's a nighttime, and days, we perceive that days are going by, but that at the greater aspect of it, like we really have no fucking clue what the time is. In the mutation stuff, say, so Penny, you talked about the mutation. In the mutation stuff, we saw everything inside there was beautiful. It was glory, like the light, the light. It looks, even in the darkest swamp areas, the light was still really quite soft and lovely. Everything was green. It was lush. The colors were gorgeous. The flowers were beautiful. Even the animals. So, for example, you saw that deer, antelope, whatever you want to call them, with the horns on their heads, but the horns had beautiful pink, like cherry blossoms on them. They were so pretty. They were elegant. They were beautiful. So other than the bear and the alligator, everything was beautiful. Everything was very peaceful. And that's the one girl with the glasses who's the physicist at the very, very end there, just before she vanishes, so to speak. And she says that about the fact of, you want to fight it. The team leader wants to, I can't remember what she wanted to do. She wanted to go after it in some way or another, and she didn't. And she was quite happy to just be in it. and to just allow herself to just flow into it and become whatever it was becoming. There was a few things that stood out to me one thing big that I saw in this that I didn't notice the first time I watched it. When you see her husband at the very beginning of the movie and he shows up, he has on his left arm the tattoo of the Mobius strip figure 8. Then when they flash to her back and forth and she's being interrogated in the lab, at the end of it all, she has the same figure 8. The military chick who goes crazy, she was an ambulance. A chick who goes crazy at the end, she has one on her arm. The guy who they found the body in the pool, who the tree had grown out of him, he had one on his arm. Every single person had the same tattoo. Now, I'd have to go back and watch the beginning of the movie again to see if they show her bare arms, like when she's painting the room or anywhere else. Can you see if she's got it? Because I assume that it's something that all appeared on their arms at the same time. And I thought it was really interesting because of the infinity, the Mobius strip. The aspect of the Mobius strip is the fact that if you take a strip of paper and turn it into a Mobius strip, do I have one here? I could maybe, I don't think I have any scissors here. Oh, wait, I do have, a good old-fashioned seamstress tape measure. If you take this, let's pretend that it's only this long, because obviously I can't do it with the whole thing. If you take it, and you take the two ends and you join it together, you have a circle. Correct? There's a top and a bottom, etc. But if you take it and you put a twist, half a twist in it, you have something that becomes what is known as, and I'll turn it so you can see it, there's the figure 8, the Mobius strip. And if you follow your finger, hold it along the edge, and keep going, you will go I can't do it because I've got the other part of the tape measure. Your finger will continuously go from one side to the other without ever removing it from the edge. It is the infinity loop. It is you cross from the one side to the other without actually changing sides from top to bottom. So I've thought it was very, very interesting that they all ended up with an infinity 8 or an infinity strip on their arms. No, and that's what I said Penny, is the fact of she didn't. I'm pretty damn sure she didn't have it before she went in. The fact that they would all have the same tattoo on their left arm, all in the same spot, it's obviously a piece of it in there. And the mutant mirrored her movements. And with her husband, it was the copy. It was the mirror that walked out and showed up back at home. For her, we don't know, but you do it, the eyes at the very, very end, you assume that she is also the copy. And then whatever it was that started it all off just died. It just disappeared. It went up in flames, and everything that it had done, like the crystallized trees, etc., everything just collapsed. And she said it twice, at the very beginning and at the very end. I don't know that it wanted anything. I said, what did it want? I don't know that it actually wanted anything. And that was really interesting to me because in all the alien movies, they're always coming for a reason. They're coming because they want our gold, they want our water, they want our air. They're coming because they're just mean and nasty and they just want to take over the universe, whatever. Once the seed was planted, i.e. with the two of them, and a man and a woman, it was gone. It's like the purpose of the seed. And it's funny because the thought that came to me was pine cones on certain trees do not sprout, do not turn into a new tree or germinate unless there's a fire. And once the heat and the fire hits it, that's after it's cooled down is when it will actually grow into another tree. Otherwise, it just lays there dormant for years and years and years until it is hit by a fire. There's a lot of really interesting pieces in this. Now, like I said, Hollywood put all the horror shit in. Now, I get it. Yeah, they wanted to demonstrate how everything was mutated. But even that mutation, they put the horror aspect to it. Be terrified of the change. Be frightened. You have to be. It's going to be terrible, terrible, terrible. Yeah, exactly, Deb. When they were burned to ash, both couples. Well, both of them, as in the couple together. Okay? Out of the ugly, if you, like I said, if you removed the very Hollywood-esque horror story shit, you're left with the journey in, etc., etc. And like I said, the one physicist, the girl with the glasses, I thought she was brilliant in the fact of like how she was just like, she just accepted it. She wasn't trying to kill it. She wasn't trying to change it. She wasn't trying to, she just accepted it as it was and just allowed it to come through her. So, what do you guys think? Yeah, and exactly. Wanted was the wrong word. Exactly. Any thoughts or comments from you guys in the peanut gallery?
I wanted to point out the timing. That movie. It came out in January or February,
Yep.
beginning of the year. And what was the big hype then?
Was the wave. The wave is coming, and it was all talked about, and that was why I, like I said, it's not necessarily my type of movie I would normally watch, but it was the whole aspect of at that time, everything we're talking about colors, we're talking about energy, frequency, waves. There was the stuff by, oh goodness, the hypnotherapist. I've forgotten her name again. It's completely gone out of my head. That was talking all about Alison Coe. That's it. And I found the timing very synchronistic. That as we're talking, as we as in all of us in groups all over the place, and all different kinds of groups, are talking about an incoming wave and talking about the color and talking about the shimmer and the light and the frequency, and we've even used words like reflection and refraction. And we've talked about things about changing of the DNA, and we've hypothesized about cosmic energy, and we've hypothesized about all these different things. And then this movie comes out at just that time. It was really, really funny. Like I said, synchronistically, it was like, yeah, I have to say there was more. I don't believe in synchronicities like that, or coincidence, let's say. I don't believe in coincidence like that. So I just thought it was really, really interesting. Like I said, when you take out the Hollywood hype, there was nothing in it that was terrifying. Because those that kind of went into it, and like I said, the girl, the physicist, who just accepted it, she just changed with it, and she didn't really have much of a. And I don't know. I just found it very interesting. And the infinity loop on the arms piece really got me of the whole thing, because it's like I said, it's the one side is both sides. The one side is both sides, and all going back to the idea of like the mirror image. Even if you want to talk about even fractals of ourselves. And did the fractal know that it was a fractal? That it was a fractured piece? Don't know. Manufactured consent, yeah, Brianna, I look at that a lot when I see stuff like this. Consent to what? Right? Like, consent to what? That's what I have to go into, is like, what consent are they looking for? Could they be looking for? I don't know. Consent to fear, yeah, moksha, yeah. But the same thing is like, I guess fear of the unknown is, I think, probably the greatest fear for most people. Fear of the unknown, right? And I guess any change, I mean, some people are absolutely terrified of change, any kind of change, right? Like, I mean, literally, the idea is horrifying to people. Hello, darling. The dog is in the chair. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I make popcorn.
Go. Don't burn the popcorn.
No, I've just turned on, so it's
okay. Fear of change. Is that it? Is it trying to ride the fear, or the fear of something new and changing, or was her fear abandonment? I don't know. She had a lot, guilt. She had guilt, and she had to find an answer for whatever the problem was that she perceived with her husband, because she had guilt. I don't know that it was abandonment so much as I would say
fear of dealing with the guilt that she had.
Yeah, but even more than that, it was like it to fight it. Was that the soldier aspect coming through? 7 years in the military, her answer and response is to fight it, not to take it on. Yet in the end, she did accept it, but she accepted it in the end. Like, that was the thing with the grenade, right? Like, there was a piece there that was not quite sure what happened. Like I said, you never really know what happened there when the grenade went off. Whose hand was holding it? Whose hand wasn't holding it? I don't know. Very, very strange. Very, very strange. Brings up a lot of questions. Like I said, there's a lot of symbology in the movie as well. Like, you could kind of go back and rewatch it and pull out, I'm sure, a lot of different little pieces here and there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was an interesting movie. Something a little different. A little bit different. And it's funny because Netflix right now is pumping out, well, I'm sure Netflix is kind of the ones who are pumping out some of the best content there is. Like, if you're looking at talking movies and TV shows and entertainment.
There's a lot of apocalyptic movies recently, though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It feeds into it. But some of the stuff that they're putting out is really, really interesting. So, like I said, we started watching just before this, and I have to go back now and watch the last 15 minutes of the movie. Another Netflix original called, oh my God, why can't I keep the name in my head? Extermination. There we go. So you got Annihilation, and we just watched another Netflix original called Extermination. And it's another alien movie, and aliens are invading. I'm not going to blow it for you, but let's just say that you get about 2/3 of the way into the movie and all of a sudden you go, oh, I didn't see that coming. What the fuck? So I got to go watch the last 15. I haven't seen the end of the movie yet, so I will do that tonight. Yeah. So yeah, like a year ago, it was all about the crystalline and are we crystalline and the whole. Yeah, I agree with Brianna. The whole we're turning into crystalline and crystalline children, etc. I think that's a real big part of the New Age movement. Yeah, which leads me right back to what I was saying before the movie. I'm in this place of really, really hardcore questioning everything. We're going to talk about more on Wednesday. Yes, we'll talk more about that on Wednesday. It's 12:12 a.m. over here. Yeah, the audio sync this week in the movie was fantastic. GC, I don't know what you did, but you did something magical. I think John's gone. No, there he is. You really did something. There was only one part, and it was, strange enough, after the bear thing, that all of a sudden it got real, from my side of it, it got very, very, and then for about 3-4 minutes, the audio was really badly separated. And I'm beginning to wonder if it's the CGI. That the CGI contains so much data, and if that's what interrupts in the stream. Because when you're like, when they were floating down the river and just paddling in the canoe, which is obviously all, real life filming type thing, everything was perfect. Absolutely perfect. But yeah, that was really, really good. I was quite pleased with how well that turned out. So, any of you guys have anything else to add to this? Anything? Anyone? Bueller?
Nothing but homework for Wednesday. Homework for the show Wednesday. What are we being presented? What do we think? What are they maybe trying to get our consent for? About talking about what you said, something is happening, clearly. What are they trying to turn it into via us as, creator possibilities? Homework for Wednesday.
Well, and like I said, Wednesday night, and we'll give everyone a little heads because we were talking for like a half an hour before we watched the movie, so everyone here got it already. But so I'll give everyone like the heads up to get brains kind of thinking and working on this. And I said, there's something in this movie, Extermination, that I just watched that kind of triggered there was several points in the movie that kind of triggers a bunch of stuff. And one of the things that I've been skirting around for a couple of months now is I keep saying we have to question everything. And yet you find yourself realizing that you've put, and I'm going to call it belief structures, in place. You're believing something that may or may not be real. And by that I mean things like the narratives that were fed through the alternative media, because we always are suspicious of all the narratives that are fed to us through the media, i.e. Fox News, CNN, BBC, we all say, oh, it's bullshit. Yet there's so much that's been fed to us for years, not decades, through the alternative media, that we now, at least I'm going to say from my personal place, is you find yourself accepting it as truth, accepting it as fact. And when all of a sudden you come to this, like, wow, like, I'm accepting, you're swallowing a byline, a narrative that someone else has fed to you, and the reality of it is it could be just as less factual as anything the mainstream media is putting out. So I want to talk about this on Wednesday on the Unfuck It discussion. I want to dig into some of these pieces that we have quasi-accepted as fact. And some of those things we're going to talk about is going to be things like chemtrails and CERN and radiation and Fukushima and all kinds of stuff. And I mean, you can feel free to think of a few others, things that we have accepted as, well, like I said, the Agenda 21 stuff. They're going to kill off everyone on the planet. They're trying to kill off like 90% of the population of the world and keep the rest as a slave race, et cetera, et cetera. And we accept this. It's like, oh, well, they're just trying. Everything that happens, there's like this, oh, well, you know, they're trying to kill us off. And it's like, there's pieces there. Pieces. So that's what we're going to talk about on Wednesday. That's what we're going to talk about on Wednesday. Anger and fear seems to be the focus. Yes, Deb? But I strongly suspect that how do I phrase this? I don't want to say that. Well, okay. That the wicked, evil controllers that we always love to hate, you know, you got your Rothschilds, your Rockefellers, your George Soroses, your Hillary Clintons, etc. Those are a lot fewer and farther apart than we have been led to believe. And I think there's a major piece in this. And there's certain, like I said, I don't want to get into it tonight because I'm tired and I got a few more things I'm kind of researching. But what if everything that we thought we knew is actually wrong and the opposite is true? The biggest lie, the easiest lie to sell someone is to give them 80% of the truth and either then twist the ending, twist the final conclusions, the who, what, where, who, the why, to twist the why it all is, or drop a few sideline hints so that people can twist the conclusions themselves. But you got to start off with 80% of the truth so that people buy into it. So if they tell you the who, what, where, why, when, how, and you've verified it and you know it to be true, then when they give you a conclusion, you'll swallow it whole. And there's the lie. The conclusion may not necessarily be the conclusion we thought it was, that we've accepted as being fact. I hope that made sense. Like I said, I don't want to get into it yet tonight. I'm very, very tired. But we are going to get into this Wednesday night. For sure, for sure, for sure. And like I said, I want to just give everyone that heads up. Think about it. Some of the things that we have accepted as hardcore truths that may not have any more basis in truth or fact than anything religious. Just saying. Anyways, I'm going to say good night to you guys, and we'll see you on Wednesday. And we're gonna have I think we're gonna have a really good discussion on Wednesday. So I want everyone to come like prepared with their questioning everything hats on. We gotta find a hat and put a big question mark on the middle of it. Okay, guys.